There's a secret way to make almost anyone like you, and it has nothing to do with how you speak, how you dress, how you show up, or even how you talk. Because this way goes a layer deeper, a layer beyond your words, a layer beyond your communication. Because you got to understand that whenever you go into a room, whenever you walk into a room, whenever you meet anyone, your energy and your presence arrives before a word is said, before even body language arrives. And if we can figure out where that comes from, that deeper layer of communication, we can design it to make it workable for the results that we want. And with that, you can get insane results. So I want to take you back to a little story that's going to illustrate this point perfectly before I reveal it to you. And that little story comes from when I was 17 years old and I had a door-to-door sales job. Okay. And when I had this door-to-door sales job, there was a colleague there who was absolutely crushing it, who was making more sales than anybody in the company. But this guy wasn't looking necessarily like the dude that you'd be like, oh shit, that fucking guy must be good at sales. That guy knows what he's doing, right? Because this guy was, kind of underwhelming. He was okay, he was a normal dude, but he just wasn't very impressive necessarily. And the guy, didn't have anything special. He didn't say anything special. He had the same script. And just in general, he also wasn't a very gregarious or charismatic person. So we had a team meeting at some point, right? And I asked this guy, I was trying to drill this guy because he had to present why he was doing so well. And I really asked him, okay, you're doing the script, and it all makes sense, but why is it working better for you? And he couldn't really answer me, right? And so after that meeting, I went home and I was like, what is it about this guy? What is the concept? What is the phenomena at play here that makes him able to perform so highly without any visible differences, right? And so after thinking that through, and after obviously being into psychology and all of those things, I figured out and I fleshed out that the reason this guy was so much better without any visible evidence of, other traits that could make him better was that he simply had an expectation of success. He had this this reality where people saying yes to, in this case, it was a charity donation that you would have to sign up for every month. To people saying yes to that was for him very normal. It was within his reality. And that is a big thing you want to understand. It was essentially his expectation. And this is the law of expectation, right? So when he knocked on a door and someone opened and he spoke to them and he could say the exact same words, but it would be in the smallest of mannerisms. The way that he said something with a slight tonality change somewhere, the way that he looked, the way where he held the iPad for them to sign up, right? How close or how far he would be. The smallest micro expressions would tell the other person, and his energy even would tell the other person, it is very normal. It is basically expected of you to sign up. This is a very normal thing. If you don't do this, you're basically a dick, or that would be weird. And that is the only reason that this guy was signing up so many people. And that is the law of expectation. That is the assumption before even going into a social scenario that you're going to close the deal, or that someone is going to like you, or that someone is familiar, right? Or that you are in rapport with someone, whatever. It's assuming a reality before you even entered it. So if you want to make anybody like you, and by the way, that's not even the fucking goal, right? The goal is to be able to find the people that you like. But for the purpose of this video, the way, without changing anything about yourself, to make people interested and magnetized by you is to assume that they are before you even talk to them. So whenever you open a conversation with someone, you literally go into that just pretending or assuming that they're already your friend, that they already like you, that they're already interested in you, right? And whether that's a social scenario, a business scenario, sales meeting, and a dating scenario, whatever it may be, going in with that expectation will allow the other person, if you have certainty within that expectation, will allow the other person to basically be absorbing your belief system. And then now they will act out of that belief system, because that's how humans work. whenever two people meet, they have colliding belief systems, right? This person believes one thing, this person believes another thing. And if your belief system has more certainty in it, right, and is more expressive in that sense, then yours will override them to a large extent, and they will fall into your belief system. They will fall into your, what we call, frame. So now they're in your house. Now they're in your frame, and the frame that you wanted, which is maybe that you're better than them, or you're equal to them, or that you're friends, or that whatever it may be, okay? It depends on the context, depends what you're trying to do. Because there's no right and wrong here. It's simply about what you want to create. And all we talk about here on this channel is designing your psychology to be workable for the results that you want. And by the way, if you want my personal one-on-one help with that, then go into the link in the description. There's going to be a link there that's going to show you a video, how you can get celebrity-like confidence in the next 90 days, and how I can personally help you to do that and design your mind for success in business, in dating, in social, and in general confidence in life. So you can check that out in the description. Continuing on that note, you have these two clashing belief systems, and if you have more certainty, then yours will override theirs. And this is not even just in speaking communication situations. You know what another big example of this is? It's when two boxers meet in a ring, because I'm personally a boxer that fights myself. And what you really see, even in sparring, is when two guys enter the ring, the guy who just believes that he's better than the other and who just has more confidence and certainty within that frame, you know, that he's better, he's usually going to literally override the other guy. He's going to enforce his style in the ring. He's going to push his game. In boxing, a big, thing that coaches will say is play your game, play your style, right? But if someone else has more certainty in the fact that they're better, then they're going to play their style and they're going to override yours, and you're not going to be able to really tap into your full potential. So their potential, their access to their potential goes up, and they're in a winner effect, right? And your potential goes literally down because you're in intimidation. You're in their world, you're in their frame. And you can't operate, you can't win there. You have to switch that back and start playing your game again and enforce your reality. And the way to do this, guys, because you might be thinking this is all very interesting stuff, but it's a little bit conceptual, right? It makes sense, but like, okay, how do I actually do this? Because I don't have the certainty of that belief system, and I don't have that assumption and expectation. You train it into yourself. Anything that you want to change is about you having a program that's not suitable for the results that you currently want, and you finding what is workable, modeling that, finding it from someone, hearing it from me here in this video, whatever it may be, and then installing that through repetition. And that is conscious effort to get it into your subconscious mind. The example that I always give is, we were just talking about boxing. If you're in boxing and you're going to be standing like this, like you see in these cartoons, that's obviously not an optimal boxing stance. You might want to be like this, right? Or you might want to be in a high guard, or you might want to be in a low guard, whatever it may be, or a Philly shell. So if you're going to go into boxing class and you're going to go like this, your instructor is going to say, hey man, hold it like this, traditional, whatever, right? So you're changing your physical stance. Now, when you go sparring, you might forget about it. You might go back to this when you're panicking. And then you got to go and consciously choose again to go into this physical stance, right? Then you're not going to say, oh, I'm a this stance type of person. No, you're just going to say, fucking hell, okay, let me just condition it in, make it a habit. And that's exactly the same way that it works with mental stances. A mental stance is the place that you operate from. It's the place that you're coming from, right? And it's the most important dictator of your results in that specific domain and aspect of life that you're engaging in at that particular time. And so if you want to change your mental stance, it works the exact same way. Through conscious awareness, either from a coach or from yourself, you change the mental stance. So when you're aware that you're in the wrong stance, you change your mental stance to a place of confidence, to a place of expecting someone to like you, to a place of, imagining that the whole room is here for you, whatever it may be. Use your imagination, get into a different mental stance, and from there, you will automatically operate completely different. Now, the reason I say that this is the secret to social results and fuck social life results, because as I said, this doesn't just extend to social situations, is because everybody always speaks about changing your behavior, changing, the words that you say, changing how you hold your body, this and that. But you got to understand that that is all trickling down, stemming from the mental stance that you're operating from at that moment. It's essentially like in a big company with thousands of employees, they have a mission statement and they have a value structure, right? And so the reason they have that is so that the 1,200 person down in the support team writing emails knows what to say on an email to email basis, because he or she can base that off of the value structure of the company. If it's customers first, he's probably going to respond differently than if it's, prioritize revenue or profit. And so he can derive from those values what he should say on a micro perspective, right? So he derives from a macro perspective what he should say on a micro perspective. Otherwise, he would have to go with every single email. Hey, what should I say to this? What should I? No, we don't teach people like that in our companies. Why? Because it would be highly inefficient, right? But, and also in my companies, that's the way that we do it. We have people derive things from principles, values, beliefs, and mission statements, etc. Right? So that now they can know how to operate without having to check in with the CEO every fucking hour. Okay? And the same exact thing happens with your mental stance and the identity and the values and the beliefs that you come from. So you want to change that. And obviously you can go two ways, right? You can take different actions and that can change your identity. But the most effective thing is to do it at the same time. You change your identity and then you take a different action and you solidify that by doing it over and over and over again, just like that physical stance. And then obviously you can speed up that process because that data doesn't have to be in real life. That data can be in real life. Like we basically call that fake it till you make it, believe it till you achieve it, or actions from that intention, right? Actions as if it's true, right? Assumed actions, whatever you want to fucking call it. That's one data source that you can use to input new data into your brain and change yourself on a deep level. That's one. Number two is imagined events, right? You can imagine yourself being like that because your brain cannot tell the difference between something that vividly imagined and something that's actually happened. So you can imagine it. And the third is you can say it to yourself. You can affirm it. You can say, I am this, I am this. And you can combine all three, right? You can do it, you can visualize it, you can say it to yourself. And that way, you're going to just speed up that process. So that's the way to start creating that different expectation, that different identity that walks into a room in a different way and that is able to magnetize people because you are coming at it with a different expectation. Because I can tell you this, that most people that walk into any room that try to meet people and go around, they go in with the expectation that people don't like them, that people don't want to engage with them, or they have beliefs like people are nasty, or people in general don't want to socialize, or women don't like me, or like whatever beliefs it may be. Those beliefs don't serve them. And those beliefs, as we just said, trickle down into actions, trickle down into verbals, trickle down into micro sub-communications. Because if you have those kinds of beliefs, you're going to communicate those beliefs to other people and they're going to believe that. And they're going to treat you in the way that you just expressed to them that they should. It's essentially like walking around with a big old price tag on your head that's undervalued and then wondering, why are people underpaying me? It's essentially like having a store and just having a bunch of items in there and just putting a price tag on all of those items that's 3 times lower than the actual sale value. And then every month wondering, why the fuck am I turning over losses? Maybe because you're pricing your items wrong. But you're wondering, people come to this counter and they keep paying me the price that's on the price tag, which is actually very low. Why? Why aren't people just paying me more? Because once again, you told them not to. That's what you got to understand. That's what you got to accept. And that is the fundamental piece. You need to shift for social results, but also for results anywhere in your life. Once again, from the fucking boxing ring, to the club, to social dynamics, to the sales meeting, to the networking meeting, to your general bank account. Because you also got to understand this. The way that you perceive yourself and what you expect to earn, what you expect, what you feel is normal, what you feel is within your reality, that is exactly what is going to show up in your reality. And that goes for your bank account too. That goes for the business growth that you have as well. And that is one of the reasons, that a big reason that people always say, move to a richer city, get in with richer friends, etc., right? Why do they say that actually? It's not because of the knowledge that you're going to get from those friends. It's actually because once you're around those new friends that have that higher standard, that have that other internal reality where other things are normal for them, that's going to rub off on you by way of the concepts and phenomena that I just spent 20 minutes explaining to you. And so that is why that's such a hack in personal success, because new things become normal to you, new things become your reality internally, and therefore you'll manifest that and you'll act that out in reality. So listen, if you want to actually become highly effective, start looking internal. Start looking at how you perceive yourself. Start asking yourself. Ask yourself right now a couple questions. Like, how do I actually expect people to treat me whenever I walk into any room? What do I actually expect from X situation, Y situation, etc.? What do I believe I'm worth? What do I believe people think I'm worth? What do I believe about people in general? What do I believe about that people want to meet people, or people are shy, or whatever it may be? Start asking yourself all these questions, and then ask yourself, why do I believe this? What makes me believe this, right? And just start kind of unpacking these, and then ask yourself this: could I believe something else? Could I choose to believe something else? If I would, what would be a belief that would serve me? Because look, guys, big point that I want to leave you off in this video is you can either use your mind for you, or you can use it against you. You can either use your beliefs and expectations for you, or you're going to use it against you without your awareness. That's up to you. And in this video, I tried to show you how. If you want to go deeper, check the link in the description, book a chat, and then we'll talk very soon. With that being said, go crush it.